Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. For those who are out of town, we love having you here. It's first of all, I wanted to wear my Harley bling today, but you can't wear Harley here unless you ride your bike here. So I got to ride my bike out. Somebody said, "Hey, it looks a little dusty." Yeah, I don't get to ride as much as I like. But welcome to Sarpy County and Papillion. There's 93 counties in Nebraska. This is the fastest growing county in the state. We got businesses growing in. We got every city here is growing leaps and bounds. That it's a great place to live. I was raised in a farm in central Illinois. I came here as a lieutenant. I came back as a major. I came back as a brigadier general. And I tell you, there's no community that treats their veterans with the open arms like they do right here. I've never felt more welcome. And I had 16 assignments. I lived all over the world, 4 different continents. It just feels totally at home, especially when I was the commander here. Businesses would come up, what can I do to help? Like the Outback guys came in, let me cook steaks for everybody in the dorms, okay? This stuff happened all the time with our local community, so it's such a blessing to be here. And so I just want to thank Mayor Black. I've known Mayor Black since I wore the uniform. Always embraced us, but he represents the community as a whole. That's everybody in the community has been that embracing. And we love our veterans. You represent 6% of the population. Think about it. You were the 6% who defended our nation in all our various wars. I see a lot of our Vietnam veterans here today. Want to know I love you? You did what your country asked during hard times. And when you came back, you did not get the welcome you deserved. And it does break my heart. My son's father-in-law was a Marine sniper in Vietnam, 2 Purple Hearts, shot through the chest and survived on one, right? And he was wounded by a mortar another time. Did not get a welcome home. And you think, here's a guy that put it all on the line for our country. Did what the country asked him to get that. But we know today that wasn't right. I think we responded knowing that we did wrong. That's what I love about our country. Our country has the ability, when we do wrong, we have freedom of speech. We have freedom of the press. And we can internalize, okay, we self-reflect to say, we didn't do this right. How do we do it better? And because of our Vietnam veterans today, for those of us who served in Iraq and Afghanistan, I had 4 tours, we were welcomed home. We had applause at the airplanes. We got in the airplanes. You go to the airport. You go to a restaurant, people pay them. But I think it's because folks learned in Vietnam how to do this better. So you paved the way for the Iraqi and Afghan veterans, and I want to say thanks for Vietnam veterans today. Appreciate it. And I know it's been 2 years roughly since the Afghanistan debacle, but to those who served there, hold your head high. I didn't like how the withdrawal happened, but one thing we did do, we've stopped terrorist attacks in our country since 9/11. We killed Osama bin Laden. We killed the number 2 guy. We've decimated a whole string of terrorists from all over the world that went to Afghanistan and Iraq. There were a lot of victories there too. But I'm not happy how we pulled out, but hold your head high. We had such an increase in phone calls to people with depression that came out of Afghanistan and Iraq after that. Seek help if you need it. It's all right. I want you to know we killed the number 1 guy. We killed the number 2 guy. We killed the number 1, 2, and 3 guys in Iraq. And people all over the country went there to attack us, and they paid the ultimate price there. So hold your head high on that too. We have an obligation to our veterans. I say that as a veteran myself, to ensure that the VA is providing the best care possible. That's one area that unites Republicans and Democrats is the VA. We want to do good by our veterans, do the right thing. We got professionals at the VA that love you, but we got to upgrade some of the systems that are in the 1950s. But I know we got an obligation to you there. We have an obligation when it comes to the mental health side. We have an obligation to help veterans get jobs when they come out. We got to do better with the TAP program. So we're working a whole string of lines of effort in Congress and our Veterans Committee to help support our veterans and do a better job. Lastly, I want you to know that we have a big task in front of us. The threats don't go away. You guys have served. You've defended us. There's always been evil people in the world. Well, it has not changed. China is equaling our GDP today. They're like at 90-some-odd %, and it's climbing. They're building a nuclear force to match ours, and it's more modernized. Russia, we've seen what they're doing in Ukraine. And they're saber-rattling with their nuclear weapons and threatening the Baltics. We have Iran. We have North Korea. We still need to have the best military in the world. We're indispensable, but we can't do it by ourselves. We know we got to have good allies. But we have a challenge in front of us today to defend our country and freedom, because those threats have not gone away. They're different threats, but the threats are still there. And on top of that, we have the threat of fiscal, $32 trillion deficit or debt, and a $1.9 trillion deficit a year on average projected. We got to produce students that have been trained in the trades. We got a shortage of electricians, carpenters, pipe fitters. My point is, we have a lot of tasks in front of us, and we're going to have to deal with these tasks as Americans first. Patriots who want our country to thrive and still be the strongest country in the world. And we got to rise above this hyper-partisanship that we have now if we want to solve those three problems together. You know who does that best? Our veterans. Our veterans know how to say, I'm an American first. And I'm here to solve a problem, here to work across the aisle, here to figure out how can we work together to ensure that our country remains the best country in the world, the land of the free, the land where you climb that economic ladder, through hardworking character to achieve your dreams, to be equal under the law. That's what we defend, but it's going to be veterans who speak up. So I would say Uncle Sam still needs you, even though you've already served in uniform. We need you in our communities, our school boards, our city councils, your neighborhoods, Congress, you name it, wherever your heart's at. Your voice is very important because you know how to put the country first. Thank you. God bless you.